Just beyond Edward Station is Gordon's Hill. With a 1 in 75 gradient, it proves a real challenge for the mainline engines. More often than not, Edward has to bank most trains up the hill. Otherwise, they risk getting stuck. It was a busy summer again on the railway, and most of the engines found themselves feeling hot and overworked. It proved too much for poor Edward, who returned home with a burst valve.
"With Edward at the works," announced Sir Topham Hatt, "I've arranged for a spare engine to come and assist with banking at Wellsworth." "Another engine, sir," chimed in Gordon. "Why not get one of the twins or even old Henry here to help out?" "They have their own work to do," replied Sir Topham Hatt. "She'll only be here for the rest of the summer, so I want you all to make her feel welcome."
Eyebrows pricked up at this. She did not sound good to any of the engines. Edward was at the work station, awaiting his repairs. As he rested, he heard the sound of a booming whistle. A very big tender engine rolled up alongside. It was bigger than any engine Edward had ever seen. "Pardon me," the engine said in a sweet, calm tone. "Is this Wellsworth?" Edward chuckled. "No, my dear engine. Wellsworth is another 4 stations up the line. You're a new face around here. What's your name?" "I'm Bertha," the engine replied proudly. "I'm here to help bank trains." "That's certainly a relief. You'll be covering for me while I'm being repaired," Edward smiled. "Ah, so you must be Edward. Well, thank you for directing me, Edward. I must go now. Sir Topham Hatt is expecting me to work hard, and I won't do that if I'm standing around chatting all day." And with that, she steamed off to start her new job. Bertha worked very hard in Edward's place. At first, the engines were reluctant for her help, but they soon made firm friendships with her. Even Gordon took a liking to her. 2 engines she still had trouble talking to were Bill and Ben. "She looks like a big ship's boiler," Bill teased. "She could crush a truck with her looks," bumbled Ben. This made Bertha feel miserable. "Oh, pay them no mind," soothed Boko. "Just try talking to them. I'm sure they'd like you once they get to know you." Bertha found the twins in the yard one morning. They were getting ready to head back to the clay pits to pick up a big order for Derek to take to the other railway. "Would you like some help with your trucks?" Bertha smiled sweetly. Bill and Ben smirked at each other. "You? Travel down the branch line?" Ben snorted. "You'd bend the rails with your size," chuckled Bill. Bertha recomposed herself and kept on a brave face. "I'm only here to help. If you don't want my help, then just say so. You don't need to make little comments about my capabilities." "She's a bit thick in the smoke box," whispered Ben, and both twins scampered away, chuckling to themselves. They soon collected their load and headed back to the junction. It was very heavy. The twins found themselves slipping at some points, but gained grip and gave a valiant effort. They were glad of a rest when the yard manager walked up. "Derek's overheated again," he said. "I need you 2 to take the train on, I'm afraid. We have no one else available." The twins were horrified. "Us?" they squeaked. "Pull all this to the other railway?" Another engine will be ready to take it the rest of the way, he assured. But you'll have to reach as far as the workstation if you want them to. Bill and Ben reluctantly agreed. Would you like some help? Bertha said sweetly. No, thank you, grumbled Ben. We don't need you weighing us down. It was tough going at first, but Bill and Ben soon picked up a slow but steady pace. That soon changed as they reached Gordon's Hill. They struggled and strained, huffed and puffed, wheezed and snorted, but they couldn't move the train any further. The call came in at the yard. Bill and Ben are stranded, the yard manager told Bertha. Please, can you go and give them a push? After all the horrible and nasty things they said about me, Bertha fumed uncharacteristically, let them jolly well stick on that hill. Let me remind you, you are here to help Sir Topham Hatt. He's counting on you to make sure trains run to time, the yard manager said sternly. I've been keeping a note of what they've been saying, and I assure you it will not go unnoticed. Sir Topham Hatt will hear about it, but I'm sure he won't want to hear about you refusing to work. Bertha took a deep breath and set off to find the twins. She found them arguing halfway up the hill. I told you I should have been at the front, Ben snapped. I told you we needed more steam, Bill snapped back. Their mood changed as I saw Bertha coupling up. Oh, great. Now this train will never move. We've got bumbling Bertha dragging us back now. Bertha chuckled and got ready to push. The guard blew his whistle, and all three engines started with a will. The train suddenly jolted forward. The twins looked back in shock. Bertha puffed and pushed with all her might. The train seemed to roll up the hill with no effort. Wow, she really is strong, the twins mumbled under their breaths. The train was soon over the hill and thundering along the main line. The twins were having a wonderful ride. Bertha was too worn out to notice. With clouds of steam furiously rising from her funnel, she pushed the train all the way to the workstation, where Henry was waiting to take it on. Edward, in the sidings nearby, saw everything. My, chuckled Henry. You managed that whole train here on your own? And on time, too. It was nothing, giggled Bill. I can assure you it wasn't nothing, Edward said as he rolled up alongside. I think you have someone to thank. Bertha wheezed up alongside the twins. Thank you, Bertha, the twins said solemnly, and we're sorry for being rude. You are a wonderful engine. Bertha hadn't the steam to reply, but smiled warmly. Sir Topham Hatt came to see Bertha. I've heard all about your recent, excursion with the twins yesterday. I'm very thankful for your services to my railway. Bertha looked down at her buffers. I suppose you'd want me to leave right away, sir, seeing as Edward is all mended. Goodness, no, laughed Sir Topham Hatt. I'd like you to take up residence at Wellsworth and continue banking trains. In my old age, I'm not as strong as I used to be, Edward smiled. We'd be more than welcome to have you in our yard. Bertha just beamed. Bertha now works at Edward's station, banking all kinds of trains up and down Gordon's Hill. After their day out, Bill and Ben had a strong respect for Bertha. All three are now great friends. Bill and Ben tell Bertha tales of their early days and how mischievous they used to be. And Bertha lends a wheel wherever she can, even with a bit of light shunting. She is happy now, and couldn't ask for a better place to live than Sir Topham Hatt's Railway.